few days ago I had the A7S III outside just shooting a little bit of the outdoor scenery here, and I took the AndyCine 7-inch monitor out with me and attached it to this 502 Manfrotto fluid head with a friction arm, a little small rig thing like this, and that usually works really well. I use it inside a lot, and I always attach it to the fluid head just on the side here, and you just kind of rotate it a certain way so that it can support the weight and not, the leverage won't unscrew itself. You have to kind of get it on there pretty tight. But when I was coming back in with it, I sat this down and the whole thing just fell off. It was just dangling by a little piece of metal. The little threads that are in there just kind of ripped out. As you can see from the one on this side, this one's in healthy, perfect condition, but the one where I had it attached was over here, and it tore, this piece just kind of tore out, and it was dangling by this little piece of metal. My AndyCine 7-inch monitor was just hanging right over the concrete with that. And of course that was a little bit frightening to me, to say the least. But anyway, I really like using this, so I'm going to give it a go again. I probably won't take it outside, and I'll probably just leave it inside whenever I use this, and just go back to using the cage on the A7S III when I use the monitor. But I don't have another one of these parts, so what I'm going to do is just try to get in here and take this one out on this side, because I don't use that one, and I'll take this torn one out and try to remove it and just put the other one on that side. So let's hope this works out, and I'm just going to take it and see if I can swap them over and use that part, because I just don't have any faith that I'm going to be able to find this little part to replace the one on this side. So anyway, let's take a stab at it and see how it works out. So for backing that little sleeve out, I'm going to use this little speed out bit that'll go in and grab the thread on the inside, and it's designed to grip it and turn it in the opposite direction. So we'll see how that works. Yep, worked like a charm. So now my question is, will these vice grips get enough of a grip on this to get this out without damaging the rest of the tripod head, or the face of it? And we're just going to give it a go and see what happens. All right. Now let's see if we can get this one in here. And I'll probably need to put some Loctite on there, but I want to see if it'll go first. Yeah, all right, it's going to go. So I don't know if Loctite's going to be the perfect thing, but I'm going to try it, put a little bit on the threads and put this in here so that it doesn't work its way back out whenever I put the friction arm or any other attachments on here. Okay, so a little scuffage, but nothing major. I think that's going to work. So part of the problem might be that you have to put the little adapter on here, because this is not the same size hole as the old regular 1/4-20 type thing that's on the friction arm. And it might be putting a little bit of stress on the inside of these threads of this little sleeve. But it's not really worth anything to me if I don't make it where it will work. So I still have to put the little adapter thing in there, give it a little tweak to make sure it'll stay, and I should be able to put this back on and pretty much be in business. And as always, it's kind of important to remember that since these things twist on the way they do, is you want the leverage gravity-wise to pull in such a way that it would pull in the direction of tightening rather than loosening. So I always have to kind of position this so that the weight of the friction arm and whatever I put on it, in this case an AndyCine monitor, will actually cause it to pull in the direction of tightening rather than loosening. So the weight has to kind of be back here on the clockwise motion of things, so for leverage. So anyway, I'm going to put this on here and get back in business with it. Got my little quick release that I like to use on this. Okay, so I'm set now. I've got the monitor back on the friction arm and back on the fluid head here, and you know, got an empty hole here that can't really be used anymore. But over here I've got that sleeve, and this doesn't really matter to me. I guess if I ever needed anything over here, I'd try to find a sleeve to go in it, but just isn't a place that I've ever hooked anything to this head. So anyway, there you go. Now the question would be, is it really going to be safe to put this on here now? It could fall off, but I think the problem was just that I was walking around with this and just setting the tripod down in places. It was just putting a lot of pressure on it. And yeah, that sleeve that's in there to adapt it to the smaller thread size is putting a lot of pressure on it, I would imagine. So eventually it just kind of caused some kind of stress fracture in there, and it just popped out. Thankfully, again, it did hang on to it, didn't fall all the way off and destroy my monitor, so that's good. So I think I'm just going to use it here indoors in the little studio area here, and where I think that it won't ever really put enough stress on it to cause a problem. But otherwise, I'll go back to attaching the monitor to the cage on the A7S III for a little bit more sturdy connection. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed me solving this little problem. If you've had some similar problems, let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like, subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next one very soon.